Hi, and a big welcome back to the channel, and a long overdue welcome back to the channel. Um, I'm mindful that well, this will be a Skopje yes and no video, and I've been back a while, and life has been very busy for me since I've been back, and it's been the Christmas festive period and everything. So, forgive me for the long delay in um, in recording a yes or no video. But before I get into it all, just want to say a big welcome back to the channel for everyone. If it's your first time here, a big welcome. Hope to see you again. And if you've been here before, welcome back. And good to see you back on the channel. And just quickly, my main reason for taking so long is that life has been quite hectic, but also this is, I think, about my fifth attempt at doing this video. I've recorded a couple of times on my GoPro, which I normally do, but for some reason it's just not wanting to upload onto my Mac. And so yeah, technology has beaten me, and I also tried on my phone. And again, for some reason, it just kept saying file was corrupted. Just didn't seem to want to work. So I'm actually recording this actually on the iMovie, straight onto the iMovie platform. So fingers crossed that the video quality is quite good, but nonetheless, I just want to get straight into this and try and keep it to under 10 minutes. And so Skopje, yes or no, and no surprises that it's a big yes. Really good place for so many different reasons. And what I'll do, I'll just go through my usual my usual sort of topics. And so I'll start with the highlights. Lots of highlights to see. City Park was fantastic, a very chilled out place, and it was so wonderfully and beautifully autumnal while I was there. And the City Park was such a beautiful place, very relaxed. Not too many people about. Um, Beautiful lakes, autumnal colours, trees, bridges over the lakes, the sort of reflections. Yeah, was just really, really lovely. And, you know, most importantly for me, there was a lovely cafe with beautiful coffee. So, yeah, City Park, absolutely beautiful. A 10-minute walk from Macedonia Square, which I always like to get uh, a sort of place where I can just sort of centralize myself, if you like. And Macedonia Square was was that place for me. It wasn't too far away from the hostel, and also it was just pretty close to everything. It was one side of the bridge. There was bridges going over to the other side, and a lot of stuff was literally just across the other side of the bridge. So yeah, that was a nice sort of central point for me. And uh, just off that central point, there was a couple of great things to see. um, Mother Teresa's museum was about a 5-minute walk away, and that was interesting in itself. I was, um, sort of many years ago, I spent a bit of time in Calcutta in India, and visited Mother Teresa's sort of the Mother Teresa Centre there. And she was actually still alive, although she wasn't there at that particular time. So the Mother Teresa Museum, she was born in Skopje, and there is some remains of the actual house she was built, but though it's literally a couple of stones, but there was you know, a plaque and sort of information there, which was great. But the actual Mother Teresa Museum was very beautiful, very calming, and what an incredible woman, and good place to go and visit, that's for sure. So yeah, the Mother Teresa Museum. Um, I guess, talking about the Macedonia Square, there was a few fantastic uh, statues statues there, and actually across a lot of that part of Skopje, probably within a square mile, there's a couple of bridges. There was the Bridge of Art, which had some wonderful statues, and uh, from the old stone bridge which goes from the square over to the old bazaar. On the way to the old bazaar, there was some just amazing statues, and someone did put some info on my page from one of the videos that I did, saying it all sort of symbolises the history of Skopje. And yeah, there was some actually fantastic ones. And as I'm recording this, I'll put some pictures on top of what I'm talking about, so you just get to the idea. Um, Again, quite close to Macedonia Square was a fantastic cathedral. And again, I'm not religious, but I just like to go to these places. I think I'm a kind of spiritual person, so it was nice to find a place just to sit and relax and pray and do some meditation. And the cathedral was a great place. Wonderful frescoes. There was I guess a monk or vicar that was doing some sort of chanting of some text, which was just beautiful. And also along the cathedral sort of theme was the Mustafa Pasha Mosque, which again very peaceful, very beautiful. I never like to go into those places. I'm not a Muslim, and when there's calls for prayer, so I like to just go in, pay my sort of respects, and just soak up the atmosphere when it's when there's not too many people about. So that was a definite one, and that's in the old bazaar, um, which was just a big sort of marketplace, really. One of the things for me, I don't buy stuff. So, but there were some wonderful cafes, great places just to sit and people watch and sort of chill out. So, if you're into your shopping, yeah, the old bazaar is definitely a good place to go. What else? Yeah, I guess as you kind of know, there's a general theme to some of the places that I go, and that is that if there's an archaeological museum, that I will go. And you know, the actual building it was housed in was wonderful, but at the actual museum itself as well was packed with so much great stuff. From Ottoman, Roman. To Alexander the Great, to just Neolithic, going back. Yeah, it was wonderful. And again, I'll put some pictures up. And one of the places that I also went to, which is slightly out of Skopje, was Skopje, which I think I've said that right. And there was a lot of places, a lot of the artifacts were from Skopje, and I did walk there. It took me about an hour through the park, through the lovely park, and but it was closed when I got there. But you could still see a few things, but there wasn't much to see. But and quite close to that was one of the places that I was most excited to go and see was the Roman aqueduct, and I was blown away. It was incredible, and if you're not into that kind of stuff, you're probably just thinking, well, what the hell? But for me, it was absolutely stunning, and probably I'd have to say about a quarter of a mile long of still intact, and just incredible to think that that was the main water source for the old city, and back in Roman times, it was really really fantastic. Um, one thing that maybe was less fantastic was that I took a different journey back, and I did talk about this on one of my shorts. But I inadvertently walked into a military area, and there was nothing to suggest that there was a military area there at all. But I walked into it, and I was held for a few hours by soldiers with guns and asking me questions about what I was doing there. Had I taken any photographs? Um, was was I in the military myself? And it was, I kind of don't want to make it sound too dramatic, but um, I thought it would be okay, and it kind of was. But actually, for a little while, it did feel that, yeah, might be a little bit more serious. But so my advice: go and see the Roman aqueduct because it is amazing. But go on the same path, the same road, which is clearly marked to go back. Don't try and go back like I did for a different way. So yeah, that they were my highlights. But my highlights are always just being in the place and soaking up the atmosphere, people watching, and just enjoying being in the space. And it was very relaxed. It was yeah, just a very peaceful, very didn't have a massive busy vibe, although there was obviously traffic and stuff. Um, but the statues were great, so many statues, and also a lot of art around, which was really nice. And there were some great pieces, of which again I'll put on the screen while I'm talking. Um, Getting around really easy. Pretty much everything that I wanted to see was in walking distance. Walking out to Skopje in the Roman Aqueduct was um, a bit of a walk, but hey, I like walking. There was no need for me to use public transport. Yeah, everything was in walking distance. Um, Getting to and from the airport was really easy. There's a bus right outside the airport terminal. Took me to, I think, about a 10-minute walk from the hostel. So yeah, absolutely perfect. Um, the hostel itself was great. Again, very central. Had a really nice room. They did breakfast. It was, for £48 for the 5 full days I was there. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, it was absolutely fine. I guess if there was one niggly thing, there wasn't that too many places to sit outside your room. So, but yeah, hey, for £48, it was fab. Um, Food great, people great. Um, Again, I think the only thing I would say, I mean, I was there for a full 5 days. I arrived really early in the morning and I left last thing at night. Um, that everything that I saw, I could have probably seen in 2 full days, but I'm not there to rush around, and so a big yes. I'm mindful now that I've gone over 13 minutes, and I try and keep them to 10 minutes, but sometimes it's hard to. But can definitely recommend Skopje. Really cheap to get to. I spent, I think what I thought I would sort of try and get to £60, and I ended up spending about 50, just over 50 quid, and and that was, I wasn't scrimping at all. Lots of coffees, lots of eating out, though. I always like to cook in the hostel too. So yes, just a big recommendation. And I'm at 14 minutes now, so I'm going to finish it. But just a big yes to Skopje, a big yes. Please like and subscribe. Any comments, most appreciated. And in the next couple of days, I'll be doing a kind of review of the year video and telling you about the exciting plans I've got for this year, because I'm very excited about some of the places that I've already booked to go. So as always, wishing everyone a safe and beautiful time wherever you are in the world. And yeah, big thumbs up to Skopje, and look forward to seeing you again.